What is up, guys? Delboy here. So Jarrell Miller defeats Gerald Washington by a 8th round TKO. The fight was called at the end of the 8th round. The round ended and Gerald Washington went to his corner and the referee just he waved it off. He's seen enough, and at that point Gerald Washington was taking quite a lot of punishment, and I got this fight wrong. I felt this fight was a 50-50 fight. From what I saw of Jarrell Miller, I felt he looked quite limited from what I saw of him. But he impressed me tonight, I have to say. There's certain things in his game that really, really impressed me. Let's just talk about the fight briefly. The first round was kind of what I expected it to be. Gerald Washington comes out on the back foot, landing that jab, the odd right hand behind it, and Jarrell Miller coming with that pressure, looking for those body shots and looking to cut the ring off. The first round I felt Washington won, but after the first round it was all Jarrell Miller. Round after round of pressure, round after round of body shots, and some very good inside fighting from Jarrell Miller. Now, don't get me wrong, Miller has flaws. He gets hit a lot with that right hand. He gets hit quite a lot with the jab. You can land on Miller. It's not going to be hard to land on him. The question is, you need to get his respect. If you're somebody like Gerald Washington, who isn't a big puncher, then you're going to be in for a long night. If you put somebody like Hughie Fury in there with Jarrell Miller, he's going to have a really tough night, and I think he probably would lose. Those type of heavyweights are not going to have a nice time against Jarrell Miller, just because they're not going to get his respect. He's hittable, so you need to be a puncher. You need to get his respect. But apart from his sort of defensive flaws, I think there's some really good things to work with. Namely, obviously, the way I mentioned it in the prediction video, I did like the way Jarrell Miller switches from body to head. It's really, really good. Not many heavyweights do it. He can go to the head and then go back down to the body, and he gets creative with his punch output. And the inside game tonight really impressed me. If you've boxed before or you've sparred, whatever, I've only sparred, but when you're fighting on the inside, head control and head position is really, really important. And if you look at that fight back, look at some of the inside exchanges and look where Jarrell Miller was placing his head. He was doing it in such a way where it was harder for Gerald Washington to land on the inside. And that was really, really subtle. And it's really, really impressive, actually. Defensively on the inside, he's a lot better, And like I said, on the inside, his punch variation was good. He worked the body well. He came up through the middle with uppercuts, and he slowly broke his man down. Jarrell Miller almost looked like a heavyweight Errol Spence, although I don't think you could call Miller a puncher per se. He hits hard enough. He's an accumulative puncher, but I don't think Miller has one punch knockout power. But yeah, he's got a similar style to Errol Spence in the way he fights. And yeah, he's an interesting addition to the heavyweight division. Because like I said, there's not too many guys like that. And, I'll be interested to see him step up and fight higher levels of competition. I think this fight was a good step up for this stage of Jarrell Miller's career. Up until this point, Jarrell Miller's best win was Fred Cassie, and I believe that fight it ended with a injury to Cassie, so it never really told us too much, but he was winning that fight. So I think this fight was a good bit of matchmaking. I think Jarrell Miller, he got some rounds, and I'm sure he would have learnt a few things, and he'll go back to the gym, and he can see what he needs to improve. But right now, I think, like the commentator said, Jarrell Miller, he's now gone from prospect to contender. So, as fans, I'm sure we all want to see this guy fight some big names in the heavyweight division. And I'm going to just give you a couple of names on who I think is a realistic, guys who I think could be realistic for Miller's next opponent. So one fight I would like to see now, and I'm not sure how realistic this is, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jarrell Miller in there with somebody like Marius Wack. You know, he's a tall guy. Marius Wack is about 6'7". He's a tough man. He's durable, and this fight went 8 rounds. It'll be interesting to see if Jarrell Miller can put a dent in Marius Wack. You know, stylistically, it's a good test for Jarrell Miller. Another tall guy. You know, he's got to get used to fighting those guys. You know, guys like Joshua and Wilder are holding titles. So somebody like Marius Wack, I think, will be a good bit of matchmaking for Jarrell Miller. Stylistically, it should pan out quite well. Should be a fun fight, and you know he's going to be there to be hit. So yeah, I think a fight with Marius Wack is a good fight, but does that really sell in America? You know, you've got to be looking at building Jarrell Miller now, because he's a character, you know, and he can definitely sell a fight. You know, other than Marius Wack, why not have him fight Adam Kownacki, who recently defeated Arthur Szpilka? Good fight. 2 undefeated guys, you know. Adam Kownacki is 16-0. Jarrell Miller, you know, he is coming off a win now, and I believe he is 19-0 with 1 draw. So I think the Kownacki fight is a really good fight. There's definitely some fights out there for him. Amir Mansour, Trevor Bryan, you know, guys like that. Dominic Brazil, Christian Hammer. There's some good sort of step-up fights out there for him, and I think he needs one of those type of fights. But I'm definitely more sold on him now than I was, and I was impressed with a few things I saw. Only sort of reservation is, how does he take those, you know, elite level punchers at heavyweight, guys like Deontay Wilder, guys like Joshua? How does he take their power? Because he does get hit quite a bit. But yeah, what do you guys think? What did you think of the performance? I was quite impressed. Tell me your guys' thoughts. Peace.